Mark and John, the Dad Podcast crew, sharing laughs, advice, and stories just for you. Mark and John, the dads you'll adore. Tune in for fun, there's always more. Parenting tips and some dad jokes too. Join the ride with Mark and John, it's all brand new. Mark and John, the dads you'll adore. Laughter and wisdom, come explore. So grab your headphones, don't miss the show. Mark and John, where good vibes flow.
Hello, good day, kia ora, and welcome back to the podcast, Dads. Right, John, I hear you've got a joke about construction.
Still working on it.
Anyway, that leads us on to today's sponsor, Renovations, Waikato, for all your design, build, construction, bathrooms, kitchens, renovations, or any sort, office fit-outs, you name it, we do it. Contact the team, link in the description.
Brilliant. Thanks, Mark.
Scotsman, Englishman, Irishman. No one of these jokes.
Oh no, I'm worried.
We're in the desert, and they were getting chased. And they're like, we better hide. And there was 3 sacks. So they jump on the 3 sacks. So anyway, this group come up and they see the 3 sacks. So they kick the first one, and the Scotsman's in it. The Scotsman goes, woof, 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 woof. They go, oh, it's just a dog, throw it away. So they throw it away and the Scotsman gets away tonight. So they kick the next one, and it's the Englishman. He goes, meow, 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 meow. And they're like, oh, it's just a pussy, you know, like they are.
Oh, careful.
So anyway, they toss it, so they kick the next one, and it's the Irishman, and he goes, potatoes, potatoes.
Oh
That's
no.
dreadful, man. So we're part Irish anyway, so.
Well, you're a bit Irish in this. I think whether in the world has the law got a bit Irish in, isn't they? Right.
Sorry.
No, just a joke, innit? That's it, a bit of humour. No worries, humour is an emotion, innit?
That's it. That's why we have a wee joke at the start, isn't it?
Make it a wee bit light-hearted because it is tough subjects we're talking about. But today, in this episode, we're going to talk about emotions, aren't we?
Going to talk about emotions, and everything that entails. So.
And how we've learned all the years how to deal with our emotions. Because again, being brought up without the father, that had that influence and been taught about our emotions, how to deal with them and stuff like that. And so what about you, Mark? How do you think? Is there something techniques you can use or any inspiration?
Not yet. No, I'm still trying to figure it all out myself. But you know, there is that whole thing of, you know, generally your first emotion's anger, isn't it? And then that leads you, you know, you said vulnerability earlier, and you know, sadness and all that, and at the end you eventually get to acceptance, and at that point it's over, you know. But it's just it's strange how we bottle stuff up, don't we? And that's generally what you do, and it's part of why the podcast is about, is because we bottle stuff up, and then it gets to that extreme point where you've got to vent. And there was an analogy for it, and it was like a boiler, and you've plugged the boiler, and it can't, the gases can't escape, or the air can't escape, and eventually it blows up. And it's the same, you know, like we're the same. If we bottle all up and we don't let it escape, we blow up, and generally that's what happens. And so we were talking earlier about road rage, because road rage is huge, isn't it? You see it even more and more nowadays. And you're like, people won't act the same way in a queue, but they easily do it in a car. And you see the most extreme of people behind the wheel of a car. And you're like, what's crazy. It's nuts, you know. And I've came to a point in my life now where I'm not in a rush to get anywhere. I used to always be in a rush, but I've got the thing here that, like, the New Zealand people are in a rush to get nowhere. They're in a rush to get to work and then do nothing. You know what I mean? And you're like, what's the purpose? Are you like, you always get to the lights and you'll see that person that's rushed past you sitting at the lights,
Aye, it's all, you
and
always see that.
they've gained nothing, but all they've done is.
But that stress themselves,
That-
that pressure, that pushing themselves.
But that same person's probably having battles with their finances as well, and wonders why they need to put more petrol in their car. And you're like, just drive normal, and you'll save tons of fuel as well. And again, I've written
Save the
that up over.
stress.
Save the stress, and I just try and avoid these situations. But there's always somebody on the road, like you spoke about earlier. There's always somebody that wants to cut in front of you and then blame you for their actions as well. And you're like,
No, it's happened to
You know,
both of us, isn't it? I've
Aye.
kind of definitely experienced that. And again, Mark, we talk about it, we let it build up and we let it get to the point where the only outlet we've got is anger and blowing up. Again, who knows why we do that? Do you know what I mean? Again, this is what we're trying to figure out as well. And we won't be alone in that. I mean, a lot of men probably about our age and older will be the same. That's the only way they know how to deal with things, is let it build up and then it gets to rage.
that's it.
But what we can do in the meantime between that is talk. I mean, talk about it.
That's it. And it's, for me anyway, it's always the straw that broke the camel's back.
Aye.
Like, I talk, and it's the same, I talk to you about it, but I talk to my mates about it as well, is like, see, when you're a nice person, people take advantage of it all the time.
100%.
And when you then fight back, they think, oh, what are you doing?
What happened to you? What's up with you?
And you're like, well, like, and it's, they're like, well, what happened there? And you're like, well, like, you can only take advantages, so much, and,
Aye.
so, I mean, a lot of people take advantage of your good nature.
Oh, 100%. I've spoke to you about that as well. Sometimes I don't know if it's a curse or a blessing to be caring. Because, you just said, when you care too much, you take on other people's problems as well, people's issues as well, but also as well, when you care too much, you come across as being really nice, and people, they take advantage of that and they walk at the top of you. And you just say, there's a point that you only can take so much of that before you go, hold on a minute, I mean, I'm not going to be treated like that.
You said something that I'll remember, and it was, like, if there was somebody that annoyed you that much, that the best thing to do is for them to ask you for a loan of money, because you'll not see them again.
Aye.
And it's true, I've had so many people in my life that if they ask you for a loan of money and you never see them, they disappear off the face of the earth. And I'll definitely talk about a situation I had even with my own brother, where he took advantage of a situation and lied about it to everyone else, and the truth will come out shortly. And
No, 100%, and we'll speak about that later, Mark, but probably it would be one of the greatest investments, is lending people money, especially the people you don't need in your life, or just kind of just being kind of followers, and what do you call that, like just users, sorry, just trying to use you. I mean, because we spoke about that. I know, it's like that there's people in your life you don't hear or see till they need something.
that's it, and like, I was always that person that would make the phone call, oh, how you been, what you up to, what you doing, and then I realised that I was the one that was the chaser. And I thought, oh, why should it always be me? And I was always that person that used to make the phone calls and the texts at Christmas, and oh, how you doing, and what you doing, and
Same.
and then I decided at one point I wasn't going to do it anymore. And it's, for a fact that they'll be sitting going, oh, he's not text me this year, or I've not heard him this year, and then they think negatively of you because you're doing what they've been doing their whole life. You know what I mean?
Both ways. Our phone
And you're
takes
like,
calls
it's
and
a
messages too.
two-way street.
Exactly.
I thought that's what life is, a two-way street, isn't it?
As soon as you stop making that call, the relationship died, and then you're like, hold on a minute, is it just all me? What's going on here? I mean,
See, and I changed the way I respond to some people, John, and the same, when the phone rings and you look down and you see who it is that's calling, you know that they want something, that they're only phoning you for one thing. So I changed the way I answer it. I just say, oh, how you doing? what do you want? Because there's no point beating about the bush about it. Just tell me what you want, and I'll, if I can help, I'll help you. But I don't need the pleasantries, because I know that they're not there for the pleasantries. I know that they're only there for,
Cut the small talk. Let's get to what you're
let's
actually
get to
after
what you
here.
actually want. So I'd rather just deal with it, and like, because you know, as soon as the conversation's finished, it'll be like, I need to go. Oh, there's somebody else on the phone. I need to see it. You know what I mean? And you're like, just don't bother asking. Just tell me what you want. I'll tell you what you need to know, and do with that whatever you like. And you know what I mean? So.
And as you said, it's cutting out all that nonsense, and it's a shame, but that people take advantage of that nature in you. You know what I mean? And we both have, I think, we have got that in us, Mark, where we want to help people and we will do the best we can. But as you said, there comes a time where you just, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm looking out for myself and my own mental well-being and stuff like that, because it's not a relationship. It's a one-way it's a one-way benefit for them and no for the other person. Because like I had it with family for years as well, and certain family members you wouldn't hear for either. I mean, it'd be like, oh, everything must be going all right. And as soon as I got the call, I knew something wasn't right. Because that's the only time I heard of certain family members, when the proverbial shit hit the fan. You know what I mean? And
But like for me, it was one of the positives of it moving was getting away from all that. Like I got away from all that. I got away from all the dead wood in my life, and the people that we'll call them hanger-oners, because that's all they did was hang on. You know, they you were a tool for them. You know, and like you know, like there was a point in my life where I had lots of work and I used to help everybody else out, and but when I needed help, nobody was there. And I was like, I actually couldn't believe it, you know. And I had someone phone me up and he was looking for one of my tools, and he's like, oh, you know, I hadn't heard him again. No, I've known him in ages, and I was like, oh, how you doing? And at the time, gave him all the pleasantries, and you know, and I was genuinely interested in how he was and how his family was and stuff like that. And then he was like, oh, I need a loan of this and all that. And he greatly told me that he had lots of work and all that. And
knowing you weren't
knowing
working.
I wasn't working, and then asked me for a loan of my equipment, and I said to him, no. And he took offence by it. He was like, what do you mean? I said, well, you've graciously told me that you've got lots of work and that, you know, you've got all this work, and I said you've asked for my tools knowing that I don't have any work, and you'd rather have not go out and buy your own tools, so you'd rather use mine, and then I've got to then chase you to get them back like I have with my previous tools. And he's like, oh, you get them back, and I'm like, the point is that you're not willing to help me, so why should I be willing to help you? And that was the last I've heard from the guy. So
that's the way people make you sometimes, isn't it? But they kind of beat the nicest at you. Do you know what I mean?
that's it. And at the time, I was like, you're worried about breaking what you think is a relationship with a good friend, and I was like, well,
Clearly,
I
wasn't
don't need these people in my life, and that was the biggest decision about moving. Was I managed to get rid of all these people out of my life, you know. So
that's something I need to do, Mark. Cause I need to lead by your example.
I clear it. It's like going onto Facebook and going, click, delete. And sometimes that's an emotion as well, isn't it? Where you go in and you have a cleanse and you just go, I don't need this, because there's some people that are only in your life to see you doing bad.
Aye.
And we sadly had that before we came to New Zealand as well. We had people that were desperate to see us to fail. But they thrived on that. Was that we can't wait for you to fail. We actually had someone tell us that. So it was actually Sandra's uncle. So we asked him to come to our leaving party, and he's like, I'm not coming. I was like, how not? Like, you know. And he said, I'm not coming. You'll be back here in 6 months anyway. He said, so there's no point in wasting time coming to your leaving party, because you'll be back anyway. I'll see you in 6 months. I was like, well, even if you feel like that, why did you have to tell us that? You know, where's the good luck and even if it
Wish
is
you
for
the
6
best.
months, that you know, and but that's just the way he is. You know, Jim's not the nicest person in the world, you know, and that's just how he is. And you're like,
Was that a surprise to you?
Jim, look where we are, 11 years later,
11
you know,
years.
still here.
And how do you remember how that made you feel as well? Was that a bit of inspiration for you as well, do you reckon?
I've actually see that's like watering a plant. That's actually food for me. I thrive on that stuff, you know, and I've done it my whole life. I thrive on that. People want me to feel, and that spurs me on, you know.
Well, that's what I was getting at. That's good. That's literally you're using that as that push and drive for you to
Because
go
it's
and
they're
succeed.
actually their energy, and you know, I say that I'm driven by emotion and stuff, and I can feel emotion, but they pass their negative energy, and I turn it into positive energy because I use that as fuel.
Oh, good, and then that's what hopefully you seeing that and give people kind of knowledge that they can do that as well. Like you use people's negative energy and to drive yourself on, other people on as well, because people are, as you said, people are always don't want to see you succeed because it highlights their failures, and it's just sad because people can achieve anything they want, Mark. And obviously, everybody starts hard. It can be hard to start for other people, whatever. But everybody's, and we keep going on about it, it's choices. I mean, people can decide to be negative and use all that wasteful energy, and waste all that energy on that, or else they can use that energy to go and build a better life for themselves. But they don't, because it's easier to complain, what we spoke about. It's easier to go out like, oh, I'm this, I'm that, this isn't working for me. Well, fix it then. I mean, you know, you're sitting highlighting, you're knowing the problems that you're going through, so you know how to fix them. You know what's causing the issues. Well, fix it. Use that energy in a positive way. I mean, it's frustrating. Don't know if you could tell there.
I could do it. I was just kind of banging out. Like, don't know how to change that energy for you want.
It's positive. I promise it was positive.
But again, that's again like it's again you're just showing emotion, and that's what it's all about. Isn't it? It's like, you know, when I went back, it was the same. People don't want to hear anything from what you've done and how you've improved in that. Because I try not to talk about it. So obviously on here talking about it now,
Emotion.
but no, where I've got to, you know, like my successes in life, because that's is my success story. You know, I've got my own business and I own my own house, and I try not to tell anyone, and it's because people think you're bragging about it. So I'm like, I don't want to come across as I'm not bragging. I'm just like I'm actually just pleased and impressed with what I've done in my life, and I'm proud of myself. You know, and that's taken a lot for me to even get to a stage where I'm actually proud of what I've done. Because, you know, like as I've said to you, I've not always feel that I was never good enough. You know, because one, I was always told that I wasn't good enough, and I was always told that you don't amount to anything, and and the more it's said to you, the more you believe it.
Oh, I was going
you
to
know,
say it. No people do.
and I was always scared about doing something different, but I've always gave it a go. You know, I've always been like, what if I'm not good at this, and you know, what if they don't like me, or what if, you know, I can't do this, and well, learn it. Let you know,
And at least try.
give it your best. Give it your best, and again, even with this podcast, we're giving it our best. You know, we're putting
We're trying our best.
more
That's
energy,
it.
and we're putting everything into it that we can to try and make it good. And
Make it engaging and making people kind of people watching give them advice. Because like you talk about, like people want to see you fail as well. Because even us doing this as well, there were people who
desperate for you feeling.
100%, and
they'll definitely not subscribe and like
No.
and follow and share. And
and see, the thing is, not like we spoke about this as well. If all it comes out of this is we see a wee bit better in our life, a bit clearer for us, and one person gets a bit of inspiration, That's enough for us. I mean,
That's what we agreed at the beginning. You know, if we did it, we helped that one person. You know, and if we can inspire that one person to make a change in their life, then that is a success. You know, it's one person that's you know, saw that we could have, guys like us, and I come back to that whole thing is, I look at myself and I go, if I can do it, you can as well, because I was that person that I did it. I still have challenges of self-belief, and you know, people look at me in a situation and they go, how do you struggle with self-belief? And even on here, you know, like again, I think I was good at it, but I don't know, everybody else will be judging that, but again, it's difficult, as we spoke about, it is difficult to talk on camera. It's difficult to do this and do what we're doing, and
it's because you're documenting it, it's out there. Do you know what I mean? And that is difficult as well.
share your story, you know, open your doors and let people in to see what your life is really like, and you know, and that's even more difficult, you know.
And I know you as well, and I know you're no one for bragging. All you're when you're talking about the bragging and stuff like that, it's no. All you're doing is showing what is achievable. Do you know what I mean? And it's no trying to say, "Oh, look at me," because that isn't what Mark is about. He's going to be any further off the truth with that. So it's just, this is what you can achieve. This is what you're capable of. Doesn't matter where you come from or what your background is or how you've been brought up. Everything is achievable again with the right guidance and the right tools. Ones of this podcast, hopefully. You know what I mean? So
that's it. And again, we do it because of our emotions and stuff like that. That's why we want to help. You know, because we know how difficult it is, and sometimes it's just taking that leap, innit? It's taking that first leap, and you know, and believing. You just need to believe, innit? You just have to believe, and I'm sure Cher would love that, innit? Do you believe?
no,
John wanted you were desperate to sing on the podcast.
Oh, I love singing. I'm not any good at it, but I love the singing. It's like that. I don't know if anybody likes that band Travis. It's called Sing.
I thought it was wide as.
Like always rain on me. No, Sing is like for the love you bring, don't mean a thing. Like it doesn't. You don't have to be any good at singing. Singing's good for the soul. I
That
think.
was Bon Jovi.
It's
my life. Let's not do a karaoke, but it's about.
I know there's not a hell of a lot of karaoke's in New Zealand, but that's something else you could maybe start as well.
I don't know, we'd start it and kill it, and people go, get rid of karaoke machines.
Aye, man named Burnham. No, but
That's what people say. People, like, they might be watching this and they'll be like, I have no idea what you're saying, but everybody said the same, because I'm that guy that sings and work and all that, and you know, I'm the one that cheers everybody up, and they're like, you should, instead of talking to us, sing to us, and you know, like, and
I get it all the time.
Sing to us.
And
I'm like, do you want a coffee or do you want a tea? Come with me. And they're like, I understood that, and I'm like, do you not want a coffee? And they're like, what?
I get the exact same. I get the exact same. Like, I actually started jokingly singing everything because that's the only way they could understand me.
What's that?
No, but I liked what you said there, Mark, about going back a wee step there, about being emotionally connected to this, because that's the driving for us, because we know exactly the struggles people went through, and we are emotionally, we have went through it. We spoke about it earlier, about how your therapists and your doctors and your politicians and that, they've not got that experience that real people like us have got. And celebrities will come out and tell their stories, and they'll get all these views and stuff like that because of their status and who they are. But see, the real life stories, the ones that we're sharing and the ones we want to hear, that's real life. That's the message we want to get there. Hear people's stories.
Because when you see the celebrities in the morning, you know, I had to work hard, and you're like, you know, I had to go to the gym in the morning, and then I had to play 5 rounds of golf, and I feel sorry for me, and you're like, I'd love to play 5 rounds of golf a week, you know what I mean, and go to the gym, and that's not that be a hobby for me, and they're living a hobby, and then they go and live in a big castle because they only made 5 million on the tour that week and all that, and you're like, Oh,
crazy,
I
innit?
made $10 after doing 4 taxi runs.
Uh-huh.
You're like,
Aye.
you know what I mean?
Aye, there's a bit of perspective there for you, come on. But, no, I'd again, that's another goal for us as well, is getting people and listening to your story and letting people have a voice as well, you know.
Aye, that's it. So, like, obviously, you know, again, there's ways of getting in contact with us. Get in contact with us if you want to share your story, and you know, and again, tell us about what you think of the episode and the series and everything we spoke about, and you know, engage with us, and you know, tell us what you think, and we'll obviously do another episode based on what you have wrote in the comments and
No, it's a
the
bit of
feedback that
reflection.
we've had, and
Definitely, it'd be good to give we spoke about that maybe in the future, maybe doing some episodes just on reflection and people's feedback on stuff like that. So it's all ideas that it's coming up.
aye, so but anyway,
Aye, so and how about Mark today? How do you feel with your emotions? I know you're talking about you kind of still try to regulate your emotions and stuff like that. But is there anything that you feel that you'd like to share that helps with your emotions?
no, well, as I said, I've already told you I love golf, you know, and you know, I'm so glad I live in New Zealand because it's easy to play golf in New Zealand, and at first I didn't like going out and playing golf myself, but no, it's good. You just go out and you can get some anger out, you know. Like sometimes you can have that release. You hit a few bad shots, and you get that release of your tension. And then I go to myself, I'm out here because I'm here to practice. I'm here to get better. And then I get past that point, and I just enjoy being out in the golf course and you know, hitting some balls and just that walk with nature and the peace and quiet, and you know, and not the hustle and bustle of life. And because you know, I have worked hard and you know, worked tirelessly, and just to get that odd day that you can
Reward.
you just spend walking in the golf course, and just you know, it's 4 hours that you spend just with yourself and your thoughts and your wee white ball, you know.
There's a couple of things I wanted to say there. First one was the saying, a bad day at golf is better
A good
than
day at work,
a
yeah.
good day at work. I agree. You agree with that, eh?
Oh, definitely. I love golf, you know. Like,
And
still not got a hole in one yet, but I've got a hole in my trousers.
oh, aye, same. I still take 2 pairs with you, do you? But other one I wanted to mention was you spoke about being alone and having that time yourself, and that's something I spoke about with my mate recently. As you get older, you start appreciating your own company and stuff like that, and enjoying it, because like it's good sometimes to have that by yourself.
Aye, but so I don't know about you, but some days my mind races, and inside my head's like the national lottery machine. I mean, the balls are going round, you know what I mean, and there's ideas and thoughts, and there's things in there, and you're just trying to pluck the stuff out. And again, like we said, you're putting scenarios to stuff, and I'm thinking about stuff, and you know, again, a project manager as well, and you're like, you know, you're constantly trying to think about, you know, has this been done? Has that been done? What stage is that at next? Where's that got to be? And then I go and quality check that. Is that good enough? And you know, and you're still trying to perfect everything, and you want to have phoned this guy and I've put that in and I've done that, and
I can see why your mind's racing a
in
bit
your
then.
heads, you know, you've got multiple jobs. You're thinking about all of these things, and you're thinking about the timing and how long will that take, and you know, we'll get this job and we'll do that, and you know, yeah, and you've got the materials and stuff to think about, and so sometimes you're in a golf courses, you can get rid of all the thoughts and you can clear your head, and you know, the draw's been made at that point, and you've not won the lottery. You know what I mean? And the only ball that's left is the one you're playing with. And
Golf ball.
aye, and you know, and it's good because you can like, I can kind of switch off, you know. So
No, because like it's one thing that I learnt for therapy, and I've also done a mental health first aid course, and one of the things they talk about is self-care and doing stuff for yourself and putting yourself first sometimes, because sometimes we don't do it.
We don't. I put myself last. I already spoke about that, John. I put myself last all the time. Like again, coming up for Christmas and unfortunately my birthday. But I mean, like, I've given mine's is pretty close, so that you've got that like joint line. So and sometimes people do. They give you money, and I always used to use it to pay for bills, and and I never actually used it for myself. And it wasn't until recently I started buying myself stuff, and then you get a wee bit carried away sometimes. I mean, like it is like I had to be my wife that said it. She was like,
Be good
buy
to
yourself
yourself.
something, buy yourself something. You know what I mean?
I'd be good to yourself.
And Sandra, she always looks after you, and she was buying me stuff and all that. So
Because that's what the thing is, Mark. Like, to have a good relationship with other people, and whether it be your partner, your wife, your colleagues, or whatever, it needs to start with having a good relationship with yourself and having that confidence in yourself and giving yourself that time that you need, because life's hectic, life's busy, and sometimes a boss, my boss, who I work with, he's like good at one. It's like, go slow to go fast. It's like, take your time to get it right first time.
So do it right first time, so you don't have to do it a second. You've got to allow the time to do it a second time if you don't do it right the first time.
Aye, that's it. And
But it's like people don't understand mental health and stuff, and like as I said, I'm like I work for a company in New Zealand, and the boss said to me, he pulled us aside, and he's like, "Don't ever come in here unhappy." As we say, and I was like, "What do you mean?" And he said, "People feel the tension when you come in unhappy." And I was like, "Well, can't help how I feel sometimes. I come in and I'm working hard, and I'm doing everything I can, and and there's some days where I've got a lot going on, and I said I just go in and sit in my like all I did was go in and say hello to people, go in and sit in my office, and but they want you because they see the happy singing me and all that, but then there's one day out of maybe the month that you come in and
use a month end.
and you're like, don't ever come in here unhappy. I was like, and this was a guy that goes about promoting mental health and stuff, and and I'm like, like he's got all these slogans up in his own company, and you're like, none of this makes like like.
It's not painting a picture that you're trying to promote.
Like you're, what's the meaning of all this stuff if you're not actually living by it?
Aye.
Like do because
Practice what you preach, innit,
practice
basically.
what you preach. That's
Aye.
it.
It's just box ticking exercises at the end of the day for them. Then if they're not following it through.
That's it. Some people are putting on a show. Isn't
100%, and that's the thing with mental health. As you said it, it is a show. People can paint a story that they're fine when they're not.
Yeah.
And talking about mental health, when I done that first aid course as well, they were mentioning how when people talk about mental health, it's just always think negative. But your mental health can be in a good place as well. And when it comes to mental health, when your mental health's in a good place, you can feel the benefits of it physically as well. Because when you're thinking clear as well, you've maybe not got that stress on your chest or whatever, or you can breathe, and maybe your shoulders can relax, and it all starts with in your mind. You know what I mean? And I think it all starts getting your mind in a good place. Is that self-care and taking that time away and giving yourself a breathing space? Whether it be where you golf, walking, cycling, just something that is disconnecting for you.
Because I mean, like I don't know about you, but I put a lot of pressure on myself all the time. I put a lot of pressure on myself to do as much as I can, do as best as I can,
And try and be that strong figure.
and you're constantly putting pressure on yourself, and you don't know what to feel, so you're constantly putting pressure on yourself to not feel, and all that sort of stuff. And
We're coming from the background we come from, and knowing how hard it was, that brings its own pressure as well, because you know how easy it is. We spoke about it, like it's like maybe a couple of bad decisions away from being
And that's
in
it.
a hard position
You're,
again.
that's it. As I already said, you're one paycheck away from being in poverty, pretty much. You know, especially in this day and age. You know,
Aye.
you're because the downward spiral happens quickly. You know, and it sometimes happens that quick. You don't notice it, and it's one missed paycheck because you don't realise that when your pay goes in, it equals itself because it divides itself up. But when you don't have that coming in, it has to go for something.
Aye.
And because you know we used to call it paying away day, and the money comes in, it goes straight back out. But if there's nothing in there to go in, it's something's going to go out, something's got to give, and
Aye, exactly.
and then the months just compound, you know, and it's like, you know, it's that snowball effect.
That's it, because that payment's no paid, then it goes to the next one, and that's paying for it, and so you're never getting ahead.
That's it.
I was going to use the still game one, and the next week it's 1,000, and then no, but and that, as I said, that brings a lot of pressure in as well, and yourself as a business owner as well. You can see it from both sides as well. Like there's the pressures on your own business, and you've had the pressure of being an employee as well, and having to pay your bills. But I'm guessing with the business can't speak about it, but you can about how the pressures that can come. You know what I mean?
Oh, but again, when I was an employee, I used to look at stuff and you can have an opinion on something, and it's not until you actually own your business you look back, and I always reflect, as I've already said. I reflect and I look back and I went, right, I understand why that decision was made. And even in a management position, John, you like when you're in a management position, you can see everything. So when you're making a decision, you're making an informed decision. But when you're an employee, they look at it, but they make a decision based on nothing. They make a decision based on what their opinion is in their
In front
head.
of them.
And they're like, oh, why did you make that decision? Well, I made that decision because I know more than you.
Because I've got the facts and figures, whereas you're just
I
making a
understand
decision.
that, and you know, and that's even for large companies and stuff where you find like, I understand this is the decision I've made based on what information I've got, which I can't obviously you can't disclose some information, and you've got to make a decision, and it's based on facts. And anyway, so I understand how decisions happen now, and I look back and I go, I used to think the same way they did, but now I understand it more, and and if you want to understand it, become your own boss, or go into management and give it a try. Don't, again, it's easy enough to be a critic, and so.
No, it's because like
Get angry about the decisions. Again, it's the emotion in it. So angry at the decision, but again, get in a position where you understand it, and then you'll not be angry about it.
yeah, listen, I've been in the side where I've been told what's been happening as well, and you don't quite understand it, and then anger and then they're idiots and stuff like that, and then before you know it, the decision they made was valid, and it was for the better of everybody. But again, you don't always see that. You see what's in front of you, don't you, sometimes, as an employee.
But even like, I look at it as like, I look at business leaders and stuff, and usually when there's a recession, the norm is to let people go. But if you gave people a decision, say you had 10 employees, right, and you know you need to make a cutback, and that cutback might be one person, so you need to get down to 9 staff. So you say, instead of losing that one person, if you put it to the 10 staff and you say, look, here's the options. Either one of you is going to lose your job, or if the 10 of you take a reduction of the amount
Needed.
to that cost, you can all remain in a job. Instead of one person sacrificing, we all make a small sacrifice. And most people go for it because they're like, well, I'd rather not lose my job. I'm happily take. And as long as that is justified, that it's actually a needed cutback, and not just a means of making more money, because there's obviously that at play for some people, but again, definitely not for me. It's not like, for me, it's definitely not about the money. And
People. Because like as you said, it would take that pressure off the 10. Like I'm sacrificing X amount, but at least I've still got a wage coming in, and I'm not going to lose my job because it's taking the pressure off everybody into it as well. So no, I understand what you're saying there, but aye. So just back to emotions again with me. Like when I'm dealing with stress, I'm the same as you. I let it build as well. But have started to see telltale signs where I'm starting to know that this is going to lead to me exploding.
So what's your signs?
I feel like my stomach.
Do you?
My mind goes all fuzzy as well, and I can't think straight. And then I'm like, well, I need to take a step back here. And I'm fortunate enough that my wife can see it in me as well, and she notices it in me as well. And it's again, but sometimes when she's telling me I'm being a certain way, I can't really take the support. It's weird. It's like I know she's right. I'm hearing what she's saying, but I just can't take it in. I can't take it on board. Sometimes what it takes for me is to take that step away, and then come back, and that's what I've learned all the years as well. Because I could see that I'm going to blow my top, and I'm going to take out the ones that don't deserve it. Do you know what I mean? And that's what we do.
It's generally the first person that's there, isn't it?
The innocent bystanders getting a mouthful. Aye. And
Like for me, and I'm just thinking back to something I said earlier, and again this is all about us learning. But for me, I generally go quiet when I'm angry, you know, because I'm trying not to say the wrong thing, and maybe that's why, you know, I spoke about, you know, me and Ronnie in the car in the morning, and I'm quiet in the morning and stuff. But maybe Ronnie's picked that up as like, you know, like there's something wrong, and we need to talk about it. And but I generally go quiet when I'm angry, because again, you know, my first thought is to get angry, and I try and regulate that by being quiet, you know, because I know that sometimes that you can say the wrong thing, and especially with the background that we've came from, you know, like because you know it's almost like a form of drinking, isn't it? Where you know that's the anger's your alcohol, and you build it up, and then you just blot out all the stuff that you didn't mean.
That's it, because it's easy. Like for me, like I'm always worried that I haven't upset people. I'm guilty of that. Like, and so like say for instance, like if you were like that with me with quiet, I'm always my first initial thing is, oh no, what's happened? What's been done wrong? But it could maybe it's just that maybe you're trying to deal with people are trying to deal with other things and going on. But for me, see as a person, I always try and think, oh no, what's happened? What's done? What's gone wrong? Even when I'm doing it with everyday people in work and stuff like that. Because I'm always that kind of person. I want to be liked, and I want everybody to say hello to you, and I'm that kind of person where I'm always saying good morning to people, and then if people don't say it back to me, I always overthink things.
I'd say I'm similar, but whereas I probably came to a point in my life where it doesn't matter if I'm like, because people generally want you to be that someone else, and especially in the role that I'm like when I'm in project management, when I'm a manager, you have to make decisions, and you can't make a decision if you're friends with someone, because it's difficult to make a serious decision when you're close to someone, and that's probably why I tend not to get close to people, because you know, like you want to have that clear, well, this is the decision I have to make, and I have to make it. But it becomes difficult if you're emotionally invested in it.
Definitely.
And you know, and like especially in work, you know, like I'd say I'm critical in work because I want perfection, I want quality, and I have to be able to say it. You know what I mean? I have to be able to tell someone this is not what I expect. This is what I expect. And if you become too close to these people, you can't. You feel like you can't say. And I see it all the time. Like I used to manage a group of project managers, and I tell them don't get emotionally invested. Don't get tied in, because you'll then you'll be in a situation you can't be critical, and they'll take offence by it, because if you say, oh, that's not good enough, they'll be offended by that. Whereas if you're not a friend and you keep that clear boundary, you can openly say it, and they understand it better.
And it's coming from a place of it's coming from a place of like professionalism and not just being like friends, and you're actually saying it for the better of the business and not just the kind of, it's not as if you're having a dig at them or whatever. It's coming from a place of as being a
I get
boss.
you, know.
But you talk about kind of perfection and stuff like that, and I think again, that can lead to a bit of frustration as well when people aren't kind of meeting the standards that you set for yourself as well. Not just for you, I just mean figuratively, when people have got standards, and that's where kind of frustration can come in with people as well. When
because if you've got an expectation and a standard, and you tell someone that again their work isn't good enough, the emotion is offence. They take offence to it, and I've seen this lots in my time. Well, you get some people that believe they're great at something. I mean, like, they think they are the next Banksy. They think that they're wonderful. They think that they're the next best thing, and they're not. You look at it, and you see. I mean, I've not watched these programs in ages, but like X Factor and stuff like that, where you get these singers on and they think that they're the next Michael Jackson, or do you know what I mean? And you're like,
in their head
you
anyway.
can't, and you're like, what you're listening to be able to come to a conclusion that you think you're going to be the next big star? Like, you know, what are you watching that makes you think that? And people might see it as criticism, but it's reality. People need
constructive,
people need to go to the chemist and again get a dose of reality, and you know what I mean. And I get some brave pills, so if you want me to pick up a dose of reality, I can easily pick that up. You know, because it's true. People need that reality. But again, that's where I'm always critical of what I do, because I always don't feel like I'm given enough. I feel like I need to give more, whereas some people think they've gave too much and they've not gave enough. And again, it's a balance. You need to find the happy medium. So,
aye, definitely. No, but that's great, Mark. I'm quite happy that we covered there, and just listen again. Emotions is again, it's all about learning, and every day we're learning how to deal with things, and I think for certain people, I think me and you included, it will always be that. There'll always be that fight we need to fight. I mean, and it'll get easier, I think. I mean, especially as we get older as well, like, we start to realise that it's important and stuff like that, and our emotions will get in line themselves, you know.
Again, I saw something on Facebook, and it's good. It's like, when you're young, you chase experience and money, but when you get to the end of your life, you've got money, but you're chasing time, and because you're running out of time, but you know, and you're like, and you can't do nothing with it, and you're like, you know, I should have worked in the middle part better, and you know, and everybody rushes. Again, like at the beginning of life, everybody rushes, and then you rush, and then you get to the end of it, and you're like, oh the egg timer's never run out, and that's when, you know, there was something somebody told me, and I'll share this with you, and if you agree with it, let me know in the comments again. But see, instead of retiring when you're old, it's like, have retirement in the middle of your life. Take a couple of years out, or maybe a year out. Use that to retire. While you're fit and able, travel the world, see what you want to see, do what you want to do it then. And then and then work
A bit later.
and work a bit later. And because what happens is, when you do retire, the majority of people, when they retire, they're done. Retire, there's nothing left to retire. The tread's gone, and you're not fit enough to go anywhere. You've not got the health to travel. You look at the complications that you'd have if you go on a plane and stuff, but you know, and
insurances you've got to pay, the premiums and
I mean, you can't walk anywhere, you can't do stuff, and like, the body starts breaking down, and you go, oh, I've waited all my life, I've worked all my life to get to this point, and now I can't do it. So, and the thing is everything's in hindsight. You only ever get old once, you know, and you only ever got your youth once. Use it while you can, and that's one of my goals is. I want to try and take a year out. Sandra and I spoke about it, about maybe taking a year out and either, I'd love to do a bit touring in New Zealand because it's beautiful, you know, I want to see a bit of New Zealand and take it all in, but again, I want to try and, so I want to see America and stuff like that as well. And
Oh, definitely. Can maybe take the road show.
that's it, podcast ads on the road, so you got some accommodation for us and free flights or whatever.
Happy to set us up.
We'll happily sponsor you, you know.
Aye. No,
Free
but,
plugs.
aye, definitely. Get your business in.
No.
But emotions in life is a tough one, isn't it?
That's it. It's hard to regulate them, and again, it's
But I think
road rage. Everybody waits till they get in their car to take out their emotions, don't they?
aye.
Steamy windows.
It's not that. It's really like you can't get anywhere. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're there,
Yeah.
you're stuck, and sometimes and sometimes you just need to deal with it in life.
That's it. Roll down the window and speak to the person in the car next to them. Have a little laugh and a joke with them,
Aye.
instead of
Talk.
talk to them. That's it.
Aye, I think that's a very important thing with emotions as well, is one, recognising it, because you don't always, but once you've recognised it, chat, and use, if you've not got anybody to talk to, use platforms like this to kind of write a comment and vent and get your emotions out, because it's good to talk, I mean, and whether it's good to communicate, sorry, maybe not always talking, but getting your message out there, because you're not alone, you're not fighting it alone, the emotions you're alone. Listen, we all struggle with our emotions.
No. That's it. And the more we talk about it, the more we can try and understand it, and the more we can help ourselves, you know. Help us, help you, help us.
Exactly. The more we talk about it, the easier it becomes a norm. It becomes a normal, doesn't it? It becomes a norm to talk about my feelings.
That's it.
Because that's the end of the day, we've all got them, my emotions and feelings. And
That's it. Even the toughest people, you know. The ones that think that they're tough, everybody's got a weakness there. And some people can put on a front. And
definitely. The people who struggle in the most are the ones who have got the biggest front. Because they don't want to come across as weak or whatever. But aye.
Cool.
Cool.
Are you
cool
happy?
For cats? Nah, happy, yeah.
Happy as Larry.
Okay.
Thanks for watching. If you're still there,
Aye.
you know, tune in next time.
Remember, like, follow, share.
Subscribe.
Was it ring the bell? Is it ring the bell on the YouTube?
Ba-ding.
Get those notifications when we get some new content for you.
Yeah, and if you know, I mean, put some stuff in the comments. You want to contact us, then let us know and share your story.
Cool. Thanks.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See ya.
Catch you.
You'll be glad you watched John and Mark bubbling lads, uncomfortable around on the podcast dads. Just watching smart lads, dedicated dads, real guys, frank guys, your life on storytelling guys, real living guys in conversation every other day. Just watch them right up your alley, so bring a little ray of light into your day. I ain't ashamed to say I like them. John and Mark capture everyday challenges in a relaxed manner every other day, searching life stories, blood talking hellish feelings daily, exploring ugly living snakes of the world. It's a devious old world, the game of life worth exploring. Sweat dripping talk, awkward talk, life stories articulate in a sophisticated way, yet naive in an ordinary way. You'll be glad you watched John and Mark bubbling lads, uncomfortable around them, the podcast dads. Just watch some smart lads, dedicated dads, real guys, right guys, real life and storytelling guys, real living guys in conversation every other day. Just watch them right up your alley, so bring a little ray of light into your day. I ain't ashamed to say I like them. John and Mark capture everyday challenges in a relaxed manner every other day, searching life stories, blood talking hellish feelings daily, exploring ugly living snakes of the world. It's a devious old world, the game of life worth exploring. Sweat dripping talk, awkward talk, life stories articulate in a sophisticated way, yet naive in an ordinary way. Joel and Mark capture everyday challenges in a relaxed manner. Every other day, searching life stories, blood talking, hellish feelings, daily exploring, ugly living, snakes of the world. It's a devious old world, the game of life worth exploring. Sweat dripping, talk, awkward talk, life stories articulate in a sophisticated way, naive